Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another 2028 election prediction. This time we have Senator Amy Klobuchar of Minnesota up against Vice President J.D. Vance. So, Klobuchar, I think she's a bit more of a boring candidate for the Democrats to run. She's very establishment. At the same time, she did support a lot of progressive slash populist policies in the way that she was pretty protectionist, I would say, in her Senate career in Minnesota. So I do think that would help her out a bit in the Rust Belt. However, the big thing is she's still would be seen as more establishment type of figure in the Democratic Party, and I think that would honestly hurt her. I think most Democrats really, a lot of people on the left, I would say, of the Democratic Party, the ones that you need to get the turnout to win, I think a lot of them want to see this party probably led by a more outsider type of candidate instead of a more establishment one. And also, she's a bit boring too. I feel like in a presidential election, you need like a good speaker, someone that's actually like exciting to get like rally turnout to be a bit higher, get base turnout to be higher. You need someone exciting to win a presidential election, in my opinion. At this point, I think you just can't go with a boring candidate all the time and expect to win anymore because politics have changed at this point. So let's get right into this. Starting out Vance's home state, I think he would easily win Ohio here. I think he would also win Florida and Texas by safe Republican margins as well. In Iowa, I think Klobuchar could make Iowa down to a below 10% margin. She is from neighboring Minnesota, which I think she would easily win by safe blue margin. I think she'd be able to bring down Iowa down to a likely R. I also think she'd win in Nebraska second. In these next few states, in New Jersey, I think she would only win it by a likely blue margin, similar to how Virginia was won. But Vance could seriously make New Jersey potentially competitive if it was a weaker Democratic candidate. In the Northeast, I think she would win Maine. Maine would probably remain about the same. It kind of just doesn't change much in the margins throughout the years. New Hampshire, I think, would go down to a lean blue margin. I think it's going to be like the eighth swing state from now on. It's going to be in the gang of eight. Um, let's see. What state should we head to next? I guess Georgia and or North Carolina. Again, I just don't think she would have good Southern appeal. I don't think she would turn out African American voters in either of these two states, and you need high black turnout to win both of these states. You need to be exciting to that electorate, and I just think Vance would end up winning North Carolina and Georgia against Klobuchar here. I don't think she would have much of a chance in those two states. Again, with Arizona, Republicans are doing pretty well here. I think with the Republicans' promises on immigration, them deporting so many people, I think that's definitely going to help Republicans in Arizona. And I just don't think Klobuchar is the right type of candidate to really appeal to the Arizonian electorate. I also think she would lose in Nevada, too. So she's already down to not, she can't afford to lose any of the three Rust Belt states here, which is not a good spot to be in for the Democrats. But let's see how these states would play out. I do think she would win in Wisconsin. She is from neighboring Minnesota. I think she would do well in the state because typically, like in the governor election, you had a boring candidate win the governor's race in Wisconsin, Tony Evers. So I think she can win this state just because she's from neighboring Minnesota. I think that would kind of help her in Wisconsin a bit. So I do think she would be able to win in Wisconsin by a decent amount, like a lean blue margin. In Michigan, she might struggle a bit more in Michigan than Wisconsin. But I think they would kind of be similar to like the same margin here. So I still think she would carry Michigan by a lean blue margin. Really, it just comes down to Pennsylvania, kind of like how it always does. But I think Vance being seen as a more populist type of candidate, I think he would end up winning Pennsylvania against Amy Klobuchar here. So, yeah, I think Vance would end up beating Klobuchar. Klobuchar would just be seen as too much of an establishment type of candidate, not as much of a populist one like Vance would be perceived as. So, again, she's also a bit boring too. I think that's an impact. You need to really excite your base and get them to turn out like Obama did in 2008 and 2012. So, I think an excitement factor should definitely be the case here too. And I just think that would cause her to lose here. So I don't think to be energizing to the Democratic electorate, not enough to win. So that's just what I think. Let me know what you think of this video in the comments below. Any other recommendation ideas? Other than that, if you're new to this channel, you should totally subscribe if you enjoy content like this. And thanks so much for watching, and I will see y'all in the next one.